In this video, I'm going to go over some of the things that the TI-89 graphing calculator can do in a variety of subjects. I'm going to start off with this video will be on algebra. First, let's access the calculator here, and we want to go to mode here, which I already have it set here, and I have it set to auto here. I hit this right arrow here. You can see the different options: exact, approximate. Auto pretty much takes care of everything. If the answer can be given exact, it'll give it to you. If you want it approximation, you can hit this button right here with the diamond and then hit enter. You can see the approximation symbols right there. Okay. So I'll have it set to auto for this video. Okay, so let me just go over some of the things that it can do. First one here, we have solve. Okay, so just to point something out to you here before we actually get started, go to F2 here, and you see number 1 is solve. So I'm going to hit 1, and then I'm going to enter the equation x squared plus 1 equal to 0. And then comma, we have to tell the calculator the variable that to use. So this is going to be x, close the parentheses. And this one, of course, I'm going to use basic equations here just to shorten the video. But the procedure is pretty much the same if you have a more complicated equation. Now you should know, of course, x squared plus 1 does not have any real solution. Okay, the solution to this, if you solve it manually, is plus or minus I. So if I hit enter here, the calculator will give you false, which means there's no real solution. Okay, to fix that, clear this and then come down here, and then in front of the solve, put in a little C. So hit the alpha and then C solve. Hit enter. Now it gives you the complex solutions or imaginary solutions, I or minus I. Okay, so what I would suggest to you, if you're going to solve any polynomial equation or a polynomial, or try to find the zeros for a polynomial, you can use this type of setup here with the C. Okay, so instead of using this first command here, okay, F2, you can solve for real solutions, so you can find real zeros using this. But what I would do is come down here, scroll down to complex, and then you can see C solve. You have C factor, you have C zeros. Okay, so this gives you the complex solutions, and of course it also gives you the real solutions, because a real value, a real number, is also a complex number by definition. So you use C solve, it'll give you all solutions, imaginary and real. If you enter C factor, it'll give you factors with imaginary values if it has some. Okay, for example, x squared plus 1. If you want to factor that, normally they'll tell you, well, can't factor. Well, you can. X minus I and x plus I. Okay, this would give it to you. Same sort of thing with the zeros of a polynomial. We'll go through that in a little bit. Okay, so let's just hit enter here. Okay, so you can use a regular command, and like I did, put a little C here. Okay, but this one gives you all solutions. Okay, so let's look at the first one that I have over here, and I have the answers over here on the right, so you can see it more clear. So I got x squared minus 8x is equal to 1. So enter the equation, x squared minus 8x equals to 1, and then comma. Okay, anytime you solve, you have to indicate the variable. Normally we use x, but you can use others by using the alpha key. And then x, hit enter. Okay, so it gives it to you in this form: x minus, and then parentheses, radical 17 minus 4, or x equal to radical 17 plus 4. But you can see if I distribute the negative there, it's the same thing as this. 4 and then you get the minus in the plus radical 17. Of course, solving this manually, of course, you could use the quadratic formula, or you can use the method of completing the square, but calculator gives you the answer. So let's clear this. And again, if I'm going too fast on these, just kind of rewind the video. Let's clear this. And identify. Okay, so basically you want to reduce this. So on the calculator then, I go to, again, F2, you'll find pretty much all your algebra functions. And I go down to proper fraction number 7. Okay, and hit 7 now on your keys here. And then you just enter this expression. Okay, so this will be parentheses again. Okay, this is very picky. The calculator is very picky with parentheses, leaving out parentheses and so forth. It'll give you an error. So this will be x squared minus 9. Okay, close parentheses. Oops, wrong one. Close parentheses, then divide, and then enter again parentheses, and then x to the third minus 27. Enter parentheses, and then enter parentheses again to close it, and hit enter. Okay. So proper fraction, and then it reduces it to x plus 3, or x squared plus 3x plus 9. Okay. Ordinarily, you'd have to factor the numerator difference of squares, the denominator difference of cubes, and do your cancellation. Okay. You got that. Okay, go to the next one. Factor. So again, get the calculator. So F2, and then hit 2, highlighted factor. Now if you suspect that this one has imaginary values here, or imaginary factors here, you can put a little c here. Okay, I want to try it like this for right now, and just say x to the third power minus 2x to the second minus 15x and let's see if I close parentheses here. Okay, so for the factoring you can see that I don't have to indicate the variable. If you're solving an equation you do. So those are the factors. X minus 5, x plus 3. The order doesn't matter here, okay? Over here I have x plus 3, x minus 5. But those are the factors. Now if I hit F1, 8 clears the home screen, so I hit 8 here. Okay, the entry screen is still there, so I can just clear. Okay, now here I want to multiply this out. Okay, so I go to F2, and here I want to expand. So number 3, hit 3, and then enter parentheses x, subtract 3, parentheses, and then parentheses, x to the second plus 3x plus 9, close parentheses, and close parentheses again. Double check your entry there. Hit enter. And there you have it. X cubed minus 27. Okay. Okay, the next one. Want the square root of 8. So here I just enter 8 and then power of 1/2, parentheses here, Because notice again, if I don't put parentheses and I just put 1/2 as my exponent, notice what it does here. Okay, because what the calculator is doing here is reading 8 to the first power, which is 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so what you want here is parentheses. And close parentheses. So notice with numerical values, we don't need to go to this menu. Just enter it on the screen, make sure you have everything in there correctly, hit enter. Okay, so it simplified it. This is your exact answer. Now if you want an approximation, just hit this little diamond here, right into the second key, and then over here enter. There's the approximate notation there, hit enter, and you get 2.82, so forth. Okay, let's clear this. But this is the exact answer. Okay, find the zeros of the polynomial here. So go to F2. And then complex. And this is C zeros, as I mentioned. Now if you just enter the number 4 here, which is just zeros, it'll just give you the real zeros. Okay, so if you don't know whether it has imaginary zeros or not, you want to use C zeros, because that'll give them all to you. And then you just enter the expression here. X to the 4th plus X to the 3rd plus 3 X to the 2nd plus 9X minus 54. Okay. Close the parentheses there. Hit enter. Okay, hit escape key. Go back. It wants the variable. Okay. So this one you have to give it the variable, just like solving an equation. Comma X, and you see the zeros are minus 3i, plus 3i, a negative 3, and a 2. Okay. Now you could also get the zeros by using the C solve and entering this as an equation. X to the 4th plus X to the 3rd plus 3x squared plus 9x minus 54 equals to 0, a comma, and then an X. That will also give you the solutions to that equation, which of course also gives you the zeros. Let's clear enter here. Oops. Wrong one. Let's clear this. Okay, so those are your zeros. Now for the system, generally we don't expect to have imaginary solutions. Sometimes it'll be no solution, but in this case, number 1 here will take care of it. Just solve. Okay. So here's where we're going to enter this. 4x minus y equals negative 1. Okay. And make sure you're familiar with the negative here in parentheses and the subtraction sign up here above the plus sign. And then here we want to put an and here. So let's go to second, and then number 5 is math here. number 8, and then number 8 is n, so 8. Okay, and then into the next equation. So this would be 2x plus y equals to 4. And then a comma. Okay, here we have two variables, x and y. So the way you need to do it, you have to use little braces over here. So hit the second key, and then we have the parentheses. That's accessing this brace here. So click enter there. And then enter x, comma, and then the right brace here. Second, and then the other parentheses gets you the brace here. And then we close the parentheses. Oops. I didn't get my variable in there, so let's see. Back. And then y. Second. And then brace, parentheses. And then enter. Okay, got x equal to 1/2 and y is equal to 3. Okay. So those are the solutions. X equal to 1/2, y is equal to 3. Okay, so now the next one is x plus y is equal to -1. X plus y is equal to 4. That one, of course, should be obvious. That is no solution because x plus y is equal to -1 and x plus y is equal to 4. That would mean that -1 is equal to 4, which is a contradiction. Okay, so that one you should be able to, should be able to tell that's no solution. But let's do it in the calculator. And again, I'm giving you basic ones. If you're dealing with the 3 equations and 3 unknowns, it's the same thing. You put it in here. You got to have and. If you have 3 equations, you got to have another and for the third equation, and so forth. And then the braces are going to be the same. If you have 3 variables, you'll have x comma y comma z, close the parentheses, and it works the same way. Okay. So now instead of writing this equation again, let me just do it this way, and let's just edit this here. So let's just get rid of this 4. Make that a plus, so I got x plus y is equal to -1, and back this up. I got x plus y is equal to 4. Everything else is going to be the same. Hit enter. So it gives me false. Okay. So that means it has no solution. No solution. Okay. The lines in this case do not intersect. Okay, let's clear this. And then of course you have the scenario. You'll have the scenario where you have an infinite solution. Okay, and the calculator will give you the formula for that if you enter one like that. Okay, we want to perform the indicated operations with any fractions. Okay, now the calculator will give you answers to basic stuff if the denominators are the same, without doing anything, just writing it out. You know, it should give you the answer. But if you got something more complicated than that, different denominators and so forth, then we'll go to F2 and number 6, common denominator, and then we just enter these. So it's 1 divide by, and then again here you want parentheses, x minus 1, close, and then plus 2 divide by parentheses x plus 2 parentheses, and then close parentheses, hit enter. And there you have it, 3x over, and it's x minus 1, x plus 2, which is your common denominator. The calculator multiplies it out, and you get x squared plus x minus 2. Okay? Clear this. And of course, graphing can be done in any calculator, but let's just do it here. Go to hit the little diamond here, and then F1, which is giving you the y equals, and then we enter the function x, divide by, again, you don't put parentheses here, it's not going to give you the correct graph, so parentheses, and then it's x squared plus 1, close parentheses, hit enter. Okay, and then here you should see it the way it's supposed to be. Okay, if you enter the parentheses wrong, it's going to give you the wrong setup, and you should be able to tell that. And then we hit the little diamond, and then F3 gives you the graph, so there's what your graph looks like. Okay, so it looks like you can look at the table setup over here. Looks like it passes through the origin, goes up, and it should have a horizontal asymptote, which would be the x-axis, or y equals 0. Okay, so these are some of the things that the TI-89 can do in algebra. And again, I'll follow up with a second video on trigonometry. Hope this helps you out. Like I said, some instructors might not let you use this calculator because of all the stuff it does, and they could be testing you on some of those items. But at the very least, you can use it to check your homework problems before you turn them in. So hope this helps you out. We'll see you next time. Thanks.